Hi, welcome back to Thought Shit Podcast. My name's Kiara.
And I'm Carson.
And on our podcast, we talk about story times, fictional characters, and advice you probably don't want to hear, but you need to. And today's episode, Carson is dreading this, but I can't wait. So today's title is My Nightmare Coworker, and I was a fry cook for a day.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. This is more Carson oriented. I'll still be there for the commentary, of course, as you know, but this is exciting because for all of our episodes, just so you know, this is literally like a full-time job. Okay, part-time, whatever. Let me not get it. People are gonna be like, girl, you have 5 followers. But no, like, we put a lot of planning and effort into this, and we always do outlines for our episodes. And I didn't read Carson's notes about.
Did you read it today?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you just haven't read them.
No. So that's why, like, I'm really excited because some of my reactions are going to be like fully live because I don't remember all the details. I know, and I know you didn't fully tell me all the details.
And there are like multiple parts.
So like, yeah,
I hate the story. Like, my stomach is already hurting. I don't hate a lot of people.
Oh,
this guy's up top. Ooh, again.
No way.
Playbacks when I first did it.
Right, and now my boobies are wet, bro.
Ew.
That's so annoying. Why do we actually always do that?
I don't know.
You gotta go.
We're like distracted. Wait here, unlock your phone.
Do you want my password?
All the notes are on here. Well, don't say it on here, but later. Okay, so I guess I'll start. This are work horror stories. We all have those coworkers we really don't like and don't want to be around, and I had one. So, where'd it go? Oh, I found it. So, okay, I worked at a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. Inpatient, which means that, like, the people that are just coming off of stuff, I'm like the first person they see. So obviously that's a great experience.
Oh, that is wild.
But,
when you put it like that.
yeah.
I didn't know.
So, yeah, it was a great job. Not hating on them, you know. But I'm glad I don't work there anymore. So, when I worked there, I was like brand new. I worked there starting from January, like 2023. I worked there for like almost a year. So, when I first worked there, I was like training, living life, trying to get the hang of everything. And how it worked was there were like multiple houses with like 6 patients in them, and 2 workers worked there at a time. So I was working with this woman, love her, and we got a call, ring, ring, from our supervisor. The supervisor was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. What did I name them? MW for most wanted. MW is having some issues with another coworker. They're really not getting along. Since like Carson's new, can you have her go over there and like work with him? I never met him. So I was like, okay, whatever, sure, I'll go over there. The houses are literally walking distance. Yeah. So I was like, okay, whatever, see ya. And I just like went over. And the house I was walking into, male coworker, all male clients, which was like chill, it was fine. But then I walked into a house with 7 men, and I was the only woman. So I was like, hey, and I was brand new. I was like, hey guys, like, how's it going? And I met MW. Just to paint you a picture, close your eyes. He's like 6'1",
period,
but light skin guy,
period,
balding in the back. And I was 23 at the time. He was 24 at the time. So he was like kind of flirting with me a little bit. I was like, okay, like, right. And he asked for my number. But I was like, oh yeah, if you need it for like work purposes, sure. But he was like trying to talk to me the whole shift, asked for my number, I gave it to him. And halfway through, there was this really sweet like client. It's like super tall, like older guy. He was like, hey, like Carson, come here. And I was like, yeah, what's up? He's like, hey, you know, like MW like likes you. I was like, okay. Cause I had a boyfriend and I was like not interested. So I was like, okay, thanks. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to let you know. I was like, okay.
Like, what do you want me to do
like,
with that
okay.
information? I'm not doing anything.
Literally, I was like, okay. So then, after I go home, I live my life. I come back the next day. And part of the job also, I like drove a minivan and I took clients on like field trips and stuff. So we went to the beach. And I was working at that same house that I switched to. So I was with the same male clients. And I was driving. I was alone with them. And there was a client that was literally my age. So annoying. But he was like, hey, Carson, like you and MW.
Why is like MW running his mouth to all these clients? That's really weird.
So he was like, you and MW. I was like, what about it? He was like, oh, like, I know what's going on. I was like,
what?
You tell me what's going on. He was like, oh, like, I probably shouldn't say. I was like, no, stop it right there. Because if you say something like that to me, you have to tell me what you're talking about. I hate when people do that. And only men do that. Like, oh, I got some tea. What is it? I can't tell you. Like, okay, then why would you tell me that?
Like, why are you edging?
I hate that.
Literally
why
edging me. I know, like, what the are we doing
that.
here?
So I was like, no, like, I'm the one driving this car. I will pull over right now. You need to tell me. So he was like, okay, like, I'll tell you. And what he told me was like, oh, like, MW was telling us, like, you're texting him and you're, like, obsessed with him and you're, quote, begging him to go out with you and you're sending him photos. I was like, no, that's not true. And I was like, are you serious? And I was like getting really pissed. He was like, yeah, like he told us that. I was like, all right, well, just so you know, like I have a boyfriend and I'm not interested in MW, and that's weird of him to say. Like, has he shown you anything? He's like, no. I was like, yeah, because he doesn't have anything.
He didn't lie, not once, not twice, not thrice. Like, there were
weird.
layers to that lie. Why are you writing? He literally wrote fan fiction about you.
I literally met you yesterday.
What the
Like, why are you doing
No,
the
he
most?
immediately packed up and moved to Delululand.
No, it was
the
just
second
like really
he met you.
weird. It was really
Wait,
weird.
so he said you were texting him, you were begging, you wanted to go out with him, and you were sending him nudes, basically. But you had just met him 24 hours prior.
I gave him my number, and he texted me, and I didn't respond. So that's how that went.
Okay.
So moving on.
Wow.
I was pissed, naturally. I was like, so not only are you making up lies, why are you telling, like, clients? First of all, that's very unprofessional and weird, and you're a weirdo. So I was like, okay, I'm going to report you to HR. I told my boyfriend at the time, JJ, we've heard of him. JJ, I literally had to talk JJ off the ledge because I was talking to him on the phone explaining, like, on my break, and he was like, okay, I'm driving there. I was like, no.
Yeah, he does do that.
So I talked him off the ledge because he was pissed.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's did you have HR or no?
So I emailed HR.
Okay.
And they were like, okay, yeah, like, we'll look into it.
Shut up.
And I was like, okay. And then I told my other coworker friend, I was like, oh my God, you'll never believe what MW did. Like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh my God, MW did the same, like, shit to me. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, like, I literally had to report him to HR. Like, MW was telling clients, like, a bunch of lies about me that weren't true, that I was, like, begging, like,
what
to
is
go out with
wrong
him
with him?
And I was like, weird. So me and her trauma bonded over that. We're like, he's a weirdo. And then we were talking to other female staff, and they're like, yeah, like, he's a weirdo. Like, stay away from him.
Why does he... Does he get, like, a rush, like, feeling like...
It's weird.
Like, I'm confused. Why is he doing that to multiple women? Why?
At the workplace. I met you yesterday.
Is it because he wants the clients to
like,
think
he's cool?
Yeah, that's
weird.
all I can think of. Because if he really was trying to get you guys, he wouldn't be doing that shit. The purpose isn't to actually... like, hook up or date you.
It was really bizarre. It was literally really bizarre. I'm looking for the next part because this is such a long list. I'm so sorry. But, okay, so I reported him to HR. Nothing happened.
Lovely.
I didn't bring it up to him because I was like, I'm just going to avoid him. And I asked my supervisor, I was like, can I not work with him because of this? And my supervisor was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, you don't have to work with him. And I was like, okay, chill. Like, as long as I don't see him, I don't care.
Yeah.
So, because I am such a little gossip, I was always gossiping with my friends at work. And they'd be like, oh my God, you'll never guess about MW. There was always things circling about them. And he was constantly being inappropriate with female clients, being really mean to, like, older clients, just, like, being an asshole. So I was hearing constantly a bunch of things about him. And he, like, stopped doing his work. He was always telling clients, like, how attractive they were. All of them, like, had a crush on him. It was really weird. So everyone naturally hated him. Like, all of the staff was like, this kid has to go. And he would constantly, like, get write-ups, have violations, and never get in trouble. Never. Because we have, like, the 3 strikes you're out thing at work.
Yeah.
That, like, didn't apply to him because we had a female supervisor who, like, thought he was cute.
I was literally just going to say, who did he f***ing suck to stay at this job?
So, literally, everybody was like, oh my God, get him out of here. So, to kind of carry it through, he ended up quitting. We were all like, woo, like literally clapping and cheering once we got that email that he was no longer a part of the team. We were like, that's so amazing. Like, life was great for like 2 weeks. And then who did we hire back on? They hired MW back on because he couldn't find another job. So bizarre.
Okay.
Like, weird. And I was like, why did you have to get our hopes up like that? He came back. Everybody was so pissed off. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And so, there's one more story just that really encapsulates and then how he eventually got fired. But he started working again. And I had to work with him in an all-female house this time. So I hadn't seen him for months. And then they started trickling him, like, back into my schedule when he got rehired.
They were, like, allergy testing you
literally,
with him.
Like, oh, does she still care? Like,
what the hell?
So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, by this time, I was, like, in the zone. Like, I knew what I was doing. Like, head down, don't talk to me. Like, whatever.
But so at the all-female house, does that also mean the staff? Like, what was the mix of staff?
It was all, like, co-ed.
Okay,
but sometimes it just worked out, like, oh, like, 6 spots in this house and they're all men. Or 6 spots in this house and they're all women.
Okay.
But, like, men and women can work.
Okay.
Which, people have their opinions about that. I have my opinions about that. I've seen how that's gone.
Yeah.
And it gets a little sticky.
Ooh.
So this is a story about when it got a little sticky.
Ooh.
So, we were working at a house that was all female at the time. Not only all female between the ages of 18 and 30. So just think about that. All of these women away from home, in recovery, extremely vulnerable. So, I was working. It was literally the worst shift I've ever had in any job in my life. 3 of the women were like, we're out of here. I was like, oh, great. Like, this is such a great way to start my day. Okay. And I was working alone at the time because we were so short-staffed. So
was this one of the graveyards, or do you remember? Okay.
So it was second shift.
Okay.
It was, like, right when I pulled up, they were like, oh, this person's trying to leave. Like, you have to handle it. I have to go. I was like, awesome. Thank you so much. So I walk in trying to de-escalate these women. I talk to my supervisor, like, hey, like, I'm alone. I have to, like, intake 2 new people that are coming in and 3 people are trying to leave. Like, can someone come here and help me? You know what my supervisor said to me?
What'd she say?
Man this time, because the woman got fired.
Oh.
Because she was a micromanager. But the man said to me, you know what, Carson? It's really not that bad.
Then you come do it.
I said, thank you so much. I'm going to go cry now. Awesome. I literally cried. Who says that?
That pissed me off.
You're supposed to support me.
No, literally.
He said, you know what, Carson? It's really not that bad.
That reminds me of when recently I asked my regional director at work to help me train a new personal trainer because we're so short-staffed. I'm suddenly a PT manager with no certifications. What does he say? You can figure it out.
Like, are you kidding?
What? What are we, like, what? You're supposed to help me.
I have told so many people that at that job too, and they're like, I can't believe you said that to you. Because for people that know what I'm talking about, like, doing intakes for people in rehabs and stuff, like, doing an intake for one person, like, when they first get there, and you have to, like, put them into the system and everything, that's, like, a 4 to 6 hour process.
What?
For one person. So 2 people were coming, like, 30 minutes apart, and you have to do it within a specific number of hours. Like, you have to do it by the 6th hour it needs to be done. Like, everything.
What is happening?
So 2 people are supposed to come 30 minutes apart, and then 3 people are trying to leave, which is preventing me from getting ready for the 2 people that are coming.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, that's like 12 hours of work right there. And you're telling me it's not that bad? And I'm in this house by myself?
You, like, shouldn't be allowed to say that.
No, I literally went to part-time after that. The next day. I was like, I can't do this full-time anymore. And I, like, got another job. Because I was like, I can't do this full-time anymore. Like, I was done. But anyways, with all that being said, there was a specific client there that was wanting to leave. They ended up leaving. Whatever. It was a big blow-up thing. I was like, oh my gosh. Literally so stressful. But they ended up coming back 2 days later. And got readmitted. So, they were talking to me, like, 2 days later, and I was like, yeah, like, nice stunt you pulled there, like, what the hell? And they were like, yeah, sorry, like, I just needed to get away, but, I ended up staying at this motel. And I was like, okay, cool. But I was like, yeah, then, when they leave, we can't give them their stuff. So they don't have a phone, they don't have a wallet, they don't have transportation, they don't have their ID. So how'd you get a motel? So I was like, okay. Interesting.
Ooh.
So,
okay. Yeah, let your mind run with that one.
Yeah, let your mind run with that. But I was like, I don't really care enough, so, like, whatever. But I was like, in my head, I was just like, that's interesting. So, like, a week later, I'm talking to this other coworker. He was like, oh my gosh, like, latest MW update. I was like, what? He was like, MW, you know when blah, blah, blah left and came back? I was like, yeah. Like, she told me that MW paid for her hotel room and spent the night with her. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, MW paid for her motel room, spent the night with her, and yesterday I had to go get her a pregnancy test because she thought she was pregnant. I was like, meanwhile, think about this. MW still works there. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy. That's insane.
And you said he was like 24?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with you? Be normal.
Like, weird. Like, why are you preying on
You're
people?
weird.
It's really bizarre.
Okay, that grosses me out beyond belief because it's like, so you can't just get a woman. Like, you have to prey on the most vulnerable population.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's not, and like vulnerable because we're talking about how they're recovering, yada, yada. And now she's also vulnerable because as you just said, she didn't have a wallet, phone, none of her shit.
So it's like you did that because you knew she was in a tough spot and you took advantage of that.
Yeah, like that's gross. You're weird, bro.
Yeah.
Like you can't just get punani like normally.
Weird.
What's wrong with you?
Weird.
Because I know guys too, like there's a guy from my high school, he's now known to only go after girls that are the drunkest at parties. Ew. He doesn't drink, he's sober, bro. So it's like, oh my God, that's so nasty. You can't just...
And that's just, like, such a specific type of person.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, that's sick.
Grimy.
Like, you're sick.
Grimy. And you're 24.
That's why, and as a 24-year-old, I'm like, ew.
Like, it's weird. No, because obviously, like, working at a rehab, you know, it's kind of an intimate space. Like, I'm in a house with, like, 6 guys, and I'm by myself. You know what I mean? So, obviously, like, guys would come up, try and flirt with me, whatever, but it's like, no. Like, get away. Like, respectfully, get away. Because I don't want to when I can't. So
and
stop.
Disrespectfully, get away from me.
The male staff would, like, constantly be flirting. Like, just always breaking the boundaries to where it's like, ew, like, what are you doing? Like, it's very...
It's a lot.
Weird. But anyways, so I was like, no way, like MW really, and he was like, yeah, like she told me, and then I talked to MW and like he said he did. I was like, oh my god. So that was circling around the whole staff. The whole staff knew. No repercussions. Nothing happened. And everyone was like, this is insane. Like, it was actually insane.
Was like, why did they want to keep him there?
Because they were short-staffed. It's just really not even worth it.
They would have rather had a potential lawsuit on their hands or something. Like, I'm confused. Like, what happens when it comes out that he was, like, assaulting half the female patients? Like,
That's what I'm saying. It's disgusting. So everyone, naturally, that was circling around. Someone reported it. Nothing happened. The whole staff was like, are you kidding me? Like, everyone just hated this kid. And after that, he started getting more like, oh, like, I'm not going to get fired for anything. Let me just pop off now.
Oh, my God.
So he was, like, being super rude to staff, like, going off. And the final thing that did it, because clients can write in, like, grievances, like, oh, this happened.
Like,
and
past clients or, like, they're current?
Like, in the house. So say I said something, like, rude to a client.
Yeah.
That client could be like, Carson said this to me and I really didn't appreciate it. I feel like it was really rude and unnecessary, and like put it in a lockbox. So that way supervisors can read it. So
little gossip box.
A little gossip box. But obviously it's like, it has to be legitimate.
Yeah.
Complaints. You know what I mean? You can't just do like, she is annoying me. Like,
yeah.
You have to do like, no, like she said this verbatim. So, MW, I can't remember what he said. I wish I did, but I wasn't on shift. I just heard about it through the grapevine. But he said something very rude to someone.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was an older guy, and he said something like racist or ageist or something that was like truly offensive.
Yeah.
And one of the girls was living in the house. She was a client at the time. She was like, MW, like, that's really upsetting me that you said that. Like, I'm going to write a grievance. And he was like, okay, do it. So, she went to write a grievance, and she put it in the box. And guess what MW did?
Oh, you told me this.
He took it out of the box, and he ripped it up in front of her.
He's psycho.
Like, something is wrong. Something is wrong.
I'm going to say something very, very controversial, potentially.
What?
I think when the like, behavior he's exhibiting, like, he should just, like, be terminated by the government, because he's going to end up being, like, a fucking serial killer or something. What are you doing?
Do you remember what happened after that?
No, I don't remember.
Because you're leading me there.
Wait, what happened? I don't even remember.
So that happened. That client ripped up the grievance literally in front of her. That client was pissed, and she just went on a tirade. Like, I hate MW, like, telling all staff, like, he needs to get fired. Like, I hate him. And we were all like, yeah, girl. Like,
you're preaching to the
like,
choir.
Literally, like, same. Like, there's something we can do, but, like, yeah. So once they left the program, like, weeks later, they left, they graduated from the program, she literally reported him to the state. And the state came in, and they told our supervisors and the company owners, if you don't fire him, we're shutting down the corporation.
That's so funny.
So they're like, okay. And they
I forgot about that.
And they fired him.
But, like, a real fire? Pardon me. A real fire?
I think he was never allowed to come back.
Like, oh, shit.
Because just looking through all the receipts, multiple women staff have reported to HR that he was it's harassment, sexual harassment. You're making lies about me and telling staff that's sexual harassment. That, being rude to staff, being rude to clients, sleeping with a client. We're not even supposed to have their phone numbers. We're not even supposed to have them on Facebook.
I just feel like, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but like he's giving me rapey, like rapist vibes. Like,
No.
put him in prison now. That's what I'm saying. Like, just
I literally
electric chair.
Named him as most wanted because I used to tell coworkers, like, I wouldn't be surprised if I turned on the news one day and, like, I saw his mugshot that he, like, assaulted and, like, killed a woman. Like, he gave that energy to where it was like, ugh, like, I hated working with him. Because it was he had this very, like, weird, like, arrogant, like, he really thought he was, like, the shit. You know what I mean?
Was he, like, conventionally attractive?
Not really.
So then
some people would think he's attractive and some people wouldn't. Like, he was all right.
Because I was trying to think, I'm trying to think, like, Ted Bundy vibes. Because, like, way back when.
Not really.
They were like, oh, he was so charming. He was attractive. He was eloquent in his speech. Yada, yada, yada.
It was like he would try to be charming, but it fell flat in a way that it was like, something's off about you.
Okay.
Like, I think he's, like, a narcissist or, like...
Yeah, there's something weird going on.
Personality felt very performative.
So, he still could have been... I always forget. I should have Googled this before. Well, I didn't know I was going to bring up Ted Bundy. But he's either a sociopath or a psychopath. And the one that he is, it's where you literally don't feel human emotions on your own. So you mimic them. You learn them and you mimic. It's a facade. So if he really might be like that, and if that's the case, we are going to see him. No, literally, we're going to see him on TV.
No, like, he really creeped me out. Truly and honestly.
Damn.
Like, working with him, I was like, no. And then I heard about all that stuff. I mean, I was there when it all happened. Not on shift, but I was, like, at that workplace, and it was just very weird. And it was very weird how, like, all of the higher-ups were not doing anything.
Just like, they turning really a blind eye?
Let him go. For what? Like, he's not adding anything. You know what I mean? All he's doing is being rude to clients and, like, assaulting them. It's like, what is he adding? He's not even doing his work well.
That's what I was just going to say, too. That's what I don't understand. But were they really that short-staffed?
All of the other staff hate him for a reason. If nobody wants to work with him, it's a him issue.
I feel like even after that other lady manager got let go, who she thought he was cute, I still feel like he had an in with somebody, because how are they not?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to have that many grievances. Yeah. See, there was something else going on behind the scenes,
which I
too.
had never experienced at a job. So you guys really don't want to fire someone that bad? You have to, like, get the state involved? That's insane.
I mean, when you're, like, sleeping with people at work and stuff and they're higher-ups,
that's an immediate fire.
But they do, like, they'll pull crazy-ass strings. Because, dude, even at, like, Buffalo Wild Wings, like, I'm, like, the general manager would be, like, sleeping with the line cook.
Yeah.
And, like, it was, like, a whole thing, like, it was a whole clique. Like, once you're in the inn, they'll cover your ass for so many things. Because, like, they would give write-ups to some people to get them fired. And then the people that they're sleeping with or that they're in that inner circle, they'll turn a blind eye. Even though they should have gotten terminated or whatever it is. So I genuinely am like, no, I feel like he, like, knew someone or
maybe
had some sort of in. Because that just makes no sense to me. He has a buildup of multiple complaints and like, kind of cases.
Nothing was done. It was very bizarre, and then people were let go over way less.
See what I'm saying?
Way less. Yeah, so honestly, maybe.
Or he was just, like, in the know. There's something we're missing, you guys. Yeah, we're missing a piece to the puzzle, okay?
But I'm worried, like, he's gonna pop up somewhere and I'm gonna, like, run into him or something. Because, like, I really cannot.
Hopefully he goes to prison before that. Or, like I said, electric chair. Like...
Yeah. So...
Isn't there some states that still do that? I'm not trying to be dumb. I was like, or lethal injection?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I can tell you.
Like Missouri or something? I don't know. I'll look that up later.
Oh my God.
But no, that's gross.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's, like, my nightmare coworker, where he was literally a menace. Like, for what? Like, insane.
I want to know about like his family life and stuff. Like, what's wrong with you? Why'd you end up like that?
No, that's what I'm saying. And something he would say, which I feel like we've talked about before, but when he would introduce himself, he would always bring up the fact like, oh, like I was a part of like an all women household. To where I'm like, no, I think that's great, but I think guys that usually try and like emphasize that or let everybody know that are doing it for like a weird reason.
It's a manipulation tactic. They're trying to portray themselves in a certain light from the jump.
Yes. Which also was just like performative.
Yeah, he is giving like Ted Bundy something. A little something.
It was weird. It like that is a coworker tour. I was like, oh my god, like I really think he might try and like do something to somebody down the road. Like I could really see him like being on the news for something insane.
Ew.
Yeah.
MW.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
See, I didn't have a coworker like that. But
the worst coworker I've ever had, but here's a back.
Let me see.
You can tell yours. Yours is more lighthearted.
Mine is funny though.
So now to part 2.
Yes.
Fry cook for a day. Tell us about it, Kiara.
Yes, I was fry cook for a day. It's okay. So dating time. I had to think. September 2nd, 2021. Wow,
this was a while ago.
I know. So it really was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So there was this place still exists, but pardon me. There's a vegan fast food place that has a drive-through. Oh,
so good.
Oh, it's so good. If we haven't mentioned this, I don't think we have probably on the podcast. Carson, how long have you been vegetarian?
Since I was 14.
And then I was...
Oh, yeah, we haven't talked about this.
Yeah, I was on and off vegan vegetarian from freshman year of college, so 2018, literally up until, like, just July of this year. So I was vegetarian. How many years is that? 6. Yeah, almost 6 years. I just started eating chicken and stuff again. Girl, you already know about my chicken scapades. I can't stop. I love fried chicken. I don't care. Black culture, because that shit's bitch. It's so good. I'm on a quest to try every single chicken sandwich combo meal somewhere. I told you this on.
Yeah, you did.
I really did. So, but anyway, point being, so we being besties, roommates, whatever. We've dabbled in our vegan restaurants, and this place, I still eat it because I don't eat like red meat, so I still eat like Beyond Beef.
So good.
It's so freaking good. And then they added what is it, a breakfast menu too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't. But point being, I've been a diehard customer since 2018. And then I remember once I noticed in the drive-thru they had a hiring sign, but it wasn't just like a hiring sign. It was funny because it was just chicken scratch, like written like
on a piece of like printer paper.
No, it literally, and it was like hiring now. DM us on Instagram. Red flag number 1. Yeah. I should have known something was up with this job just because their form of a job application, they wanted you to DM them on IG.
Yeah.
To slide in their DMs. Not like
that is interesting.
Not Indeed, not an email, not even like at the minimum, not at like I don't know. I just feel like
it like gives a little bit unprofessional.
I was just gonna say like there's no structure.
Yeah.
So what's happening? I tried to pull up the DMs, but I guess I blocked them, and I can't find.
You did?
I can't find them like in the block list to unblock, and that is a DM that was from 3 years ago, almost 4. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to find that. But so I DM them, and I DM my resume too, like a picture of my resume. They literally hired me over Instagram DMs. They didn't call me.
Interview, nothing.
They didn't interview me. I didn't do a background check.
Huh.
Is that not like just weird?
I'd be like, really?
I mean, don't get me wrong, like I have a good resume.
Right.
But like,
Billy, you want nothing?
Like,
I thought they have to do a background check for like, don't they have to? For some jobs?
So like, for example, at my gym job right now, when we hire people, before we can even be like, you're an official employee, you have to answer this. It's a text and an email. You put in your name, your social, and some other stuff. And then we wait for your background check to process. But I don't know how because I think the restaurant job I worked before, I don't remember. I don't think they did a background check.
Every job I've had, except for like jobs for a specific family that was like personal, you know what I mean?
Now that I'm thinking about
like every job where I worked for a company, I've had a background check.
Now I can't remember. Maybe I'm just not remembering. I don't think for the restaurant, because then again, I was also working up until my gym job. Like I've worked a lot of like mom and pop type restaurants, not corporations. So maybe that makes a difference. I don't know. But that was just weird. I literally got hired over the DMs. In between now and when we post this, if I can find the DM, I will send it to Miss Catherine so she can put it on screen. Because that shit was funny. But so, they hire me over IG DMs. I like set everything up on the Homebase app. If you know, you know. And then what else did I do? I remember just texting the owner. Like, again, I hadn't met him yet. Like, we were just coordinating when I was going to come in for training. So I show up for training. Immediately, the vibes are weird. Water is literally leaking. So behind the counter, because it's a drive-thru, but you can walk into, but I'm lazy. So this was literally my first time actually being inside. Yeah. And
I've never been in there.
See, that's what I'm saying. Why would I?
Yeah.
If there's a drive-thru and there's no line, 1 + 1 = 2. And so I walk in, I see behind the counter the ceiling, there's a water leak, and they literally just have a bucket, and it's like near the fryer, it's like, it looks janky. Yeah. Okay. And then I can see they're short staffed because I had to wait there for like, it was like 5 to 10 minutes, and they're kind of like running around. There are only 2 people. And so I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow. 2 people, yeah, for a restaurant is nothing.
Exactly, because there needs to be someone at the drive-thru taking the orders, and then in between orders, like bagging the orders, and then they have someone frying all the shit, and then they have a counter where people are walking up to.
Right.
So they were short-staffed by at least, I think, 2 people, probably, but...
I feel like 2 people should be cooking.
Exactly. I think there is. So I was like, I think they were short-staffed by 2 people. And so when I did finally get their attention, they literally didn't know that they were training anybody that day.
Perfect. Great.
Why do restaurant, like, this is the epitome of restaurant life. Like, they were already like, trying to do the
last thing they needed.
And it wasn't just me, it was another like white blonde guy. It was 2 of us.
No.
So we think about this, when I say we just got thrown in, I mean we just got thrown in. Because what were they going to do? They didn't have the capability to train us like that. And the girl literally said to me, she was like, I didn't know I was training anybody today. Like, she was like, what? When I told her. Like, I ruined her day. Yeah. I ruined her.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, girlfriend. That shit was so funny. Not my note, literally verbatim saying, other trainee was a weird white guy.
Why was he weird?
It's okay. If you know, you know. Have you ever met a white guy who, like, really likes anime?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that energy.
Okay.
And it's not just, like, and this is coming from someone who likes anime, and we just, Carson and I,
talked about this literally
we
yesterday.
literally talked about this on the phone. There's layers to liking anime, and it's different for a man versus a woman. For men, and white men especially, you have 2 levels. Okay, you're just a nerd, and you like anime, so you're just a nerd. And then there's the white guys that they're, like, into hentai. They only like Asian girls. Like, it's a fetish thing. And something was telling me it was leaning towards that. And I just actually thought right now there's a level 3 to white guys liking anime too. Then they get into, like, the weird, like, tentacle, like, porn. Like, something was so off about him. Or, like, you kill little animals, like, in your backyard or something. Something was, and he had long hair. You know that doesn't sit right with me. Like, greasy vibes. Like, maybe he lived at home. Maybe he lived in a detached garage with his parents. couldn't tell you.
Okay.
If they're hiring over Instagram DMs, they're hiring
he could have been
anybody.
Yeah, that's so true.
I genuinely don't. He honestly could have been in his 30s. I wouldn't know. I don't know.
Okay.
But so we're both like, so what's happening? We were having small talk at first because I can't remember, like we were waiting for someone to start training, or I forgot what it was, but before we got thrown into frying and like taking orders at the window, we're like having stupid ass icebreakers. And I remember at the time I was pescatarian. So a bitch was eating fish. I wasn't just vegetarian. The way they all judged me for that,
really?
I will never forget that.
So everyone that was vegetarian that worked there?
Everyone that worked there was full on vegan.
Oh, no way.
And then the weird white guy, he said he was vegetarian, I think, or he said like basically like 5 days a week he's vegetarian, or he said some shit like that. But because I ate fish, because I remember he said he didn't, I remember it just got quiet after.
That's so awkward.
I was like, okay.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, I'm black and pescatarian.
Yeah.
What the fuck? No, they judged me hard as shit for that. And so for training, they were like, all right, like we're going to throw you guys into this. They're basically like, think fast. Who wants to work the drive-thru? Who wants to be on fryer? My brain didn't think fast enough. And weird white guy, let's call him Shaggy, because that's like the vibe he was literally giving, but longer hair. Sure. Shaggy goes, I'll do the drive-thru. You bitch.
Yeah, I'd be like,
you're gonna make a girl go on the fryer?
Picturing you on, like, working as a fry cook is just so silly.
I had nails, too.
Oh.
And here's the thing. They did not tell me on the sign. Oh, this was something I should have mentioned, too. On the sign, they literally didn't say it was a fry cook job. They said it was just drive-thru. Yeah. So I thought I was just going to... No, literally, I thought I was just coming in to be a drive-thru attendant. No, you do everything there. So they really had my ass on there. By the way, they use Gardein. They straight up just use Gardein.
Oh, no way.
I literally... Remember the fish...
What about their patties?
The Gardein fish patty, or like fish cake, because they have a fish sandwich. It's literally that, but you batter it, like do a double batter twice. The chicken patty is literally a Gardein patty. They'll tell you too if you ask in the drive-thru, because when I used to like track my macros, because I wanted to know the protein, they're like, oh, it's literally a Gardein patty. But they do a double batter coat with the flour and then
fry it.
And then they fry it. But it's Gardein. But so I'm in this bitch pulling Gardein patties out the freezer. I have gloves on, my nails, putting it in the batter, putting it in the flour, putting it in the batter, putting it in the flour, frying that shit with the timers, and you have 4 different fryers. So you're literally in like a fry cook video game. Like, fry cooks are real. Fry cooks aren't just in video games, bitch.
That sounds super stressful.
So I'm doing French fries, sweet potato, tots, a patty, and then chicken nuggets all at the same time, and you have to make sure. So the timers, it's not just like, because you have the 4 different timers. Yeah. It's not just like, oh, you put 60 seconds, 1 minute, because you have a sheet with all the cook times too. Each number, let's say oh my gosh, it's so confusing how to explain it. Let's say each timer has 5 buttons. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 1 is correlated with like 1 minute. Number 2 is correlated with 1.5 minutes. Number 3 is correlated with 2 minutes. Number 4 is correlated with 2.5 minutes. So then you also, on the fly, if you press the wrong button, now you can't restart the timer. It just goes all the way through. So if you have a cook time, you needed a cook time for 1 minute, but you pressed a button that's 2.5 minutes. Now you have to keep your eye on that one, knowing that, oh, I have to pull this out when there's 1 minute and 30 seconds still on the clock. For minimum wage. What?
For literally minimum wage?
Yes. Girl, fast food.
I guess, but I feel like fast food pays higher now.
Well,
like, I feel like at McDonald's, people make like...
That's different. McDonald's like, and like In-N-Out, but this is this is a small vegan drive-through.
Yeah, that's fair.
They don't have the same
Funds.
nobody they literally don't. They charge for everything at vegan places. Some ketchup, that's not free, bitch. Some ranch, that's not free, bitch. No, because they're making
that's actually true.
Because they're making it all in-house. So they're stingy. They're stingy. But so literally my note says I had to be a fry cook. Nope. Yeah, nope. Dude, it was so hot in there. Literally, there's a leak this close to my head. I'm like, is this not like
I can't live this
is this a fire hazard? Like, what are we doing? I remember at one point, I believe I had worked for maybe like an hour and a half, give or take. And then the girl told me, she was like, go ahead and take your 10-minute break. And then, like, we'll train you some more.
Perfect. Will do.
I remember, so I went on my 10. I grabbed my backpack. I went on my 10. I went and sat in my car. I remember calling my ex and telling him, like, I'm a f***ing fry cook. My first ex. So think about this. That's why it's so funny. He literally was like, no f***ing way. Because if you know me, I'm not a fry cook.
No way.
Like, I try to be a nature girly. I'm trying my best, but like...
I'm like, do you try to be a nature girly?
I mean, I want to like try going camping. I don't like hiking.
Okay, yeah.
But like, I'm like trying to like go on my walks and shit, whatever.
That's fair.
But like, I'm not the bitch who wants to get my hands dirty.
Right.
You're telling me with these claws?
No, if I had nails and they made me do that, I would be so pissed.
And weird,
like, there's no way.
But actually. Weird white guy Shaggy gets to do the drive-through.
Like, so you didn't let me have first pick?
That's what I'm saying. I'm a girl. I'm a lady. Do you not know how to treat women, Shaggy?
I want to do fry cook.
Bro. So I really took my ass to my car, called my ex, tell him da-da-da-da. He was like, no way. Because he was like, he knew me too well. He was like, you're not doing that shit. And I can't remember if it was his idea first or mine, but either he was just like, you should just leave, or I called him being like, should I just leave? Yeah. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, no fucking way. I've never done some shit like this to a job. Like, I always put my 2 weeks notice in. Most of the time I don't even quit a job. If I leave a job, it's because I have to. Like, oh, I graduated from my college and it's a student worker position, or like I left my restaurant job because I was pursuing my career job, whatever it was. Like I get so comfortable and attached to jobs too. Like the change is hard for me. Where the hell was I going with this? Sorry.
But you made the decision to
I was like,
dip out.
I was like, I gotta go, but no 2 week notice. I simply did not return from my 10-minute break.
And you called me during that period
of time. Did I?
I can't remember. I think you were driving.
Yeah,
you called me and
I bet I did.
Carson, I'm leaving my job. I was like, what? I was like, what? Like, because I'm the same way as you. Like, I've always put in a notice, whatever. So I was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe it.
And mind you, like, we frequent this vegan fast food place. Yes, we go to this
place at the time because our school was close to there.
Ugh.
We went
at least once a week, honestly. I would say. Yeah. Because I get their mini burger with an extra patty.
It's so
and
good.
And then like fries or some shit.
And they had one right by my place when I moved.
Oh, I love their tenders too. Those are even though I eat real chicken now, I still up the vegan shit. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
It's bomb. But no, so I took my little ass all the way back home to my ex-boyfriend, and we had a good laugh about that. And literally probably 7 days later, possibly even sooner.
I think it was sooner than that.
Something tells me.
Because you were like terrified to go back, but I was like,
you're like, it sounds, yeah,
like,
you're dumbass.
Please, let's
so
go.
I pulled back up in my same purple car, very recognizable, in the drive-thru, probably like 4 days after I just disappeared from that job.
I wish you could have seen how they reacted when you didn't come back. I'm so curious.
I know they were shook too, because the college we go to, that's like, how do I word it? That's like the college in our city.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when they saw that on my resume, they were like, oh, hell yeah. And I do have a good resume and like references and shit.
Yeah.
Like I've never done that to a job. So I don't know why I didn't just go in and be like, I'm so sorry. Like I couldn't face them. I didn't have the maturity to just be like,
I can't do this.
Like I didn't know I was gonna be a fry cook. Like, what? I understand, and there's nothing wrong with being a fry cook,
no,
just
right.
to clarify.
It's just not the position for you, and that's okay.
And I'm shook because I was like, wait, like I said earlier, I was like, fry cooks are real. Like, wait.
Yeah, and that job's hard.
Dude, and it's normally men. That's why I was like, why the would you hire
I feel
me?
Like the women that are fry cooks, like, they kill it. Like, if you see,
no,
you know, at fast food, like, they're grinding.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
and I'm not doing
so
that.
hard.
And I'm not doing that for a part-time minimum wage job.
Yeah.
Just so I can get my free vegan shit. No, I'll pay for my $20 burger.
That would have been so great if it was free, though.
No, because my biggest thing at a job is I can't deal with heat. Like, I remember I worked at a restaurant where the AC unit, what the unit they had was not, it didn't cover the square footage of the restaurant, so it was constantly breaking down. I remember working, you know, the meal prep restaurant.
Yeah.
It was 85 degrees in there.
No.
My makeup was, my fully melted, bro. And like ever since then, I worked at a crate place too, and they had no AC, just a fan.
Yeah.
No, I can't. You're working next to all the hot grills. The grills are always on. It's so hot.
Yeah.
Like that makes me feel nauseous. And I'm over a fryer. Now I
oh
smell like French fries.
No. You would literally smell like food all the time.
Okay, and let's remember at this point in my life, I was a big bitch. So you're about to tell me as a big black girl, I'm going to be walking around smelling like fried chicken? Literally? That's a sick joke. In my hair? Oh my God.
You have to wash your hair like every day.
No, and you're not, my hair? Good Lord.
No one should. I mean, whatever. Let me not get there. Some people wash their hair really every day because it honestly gets oily and they
I was gonna say my mom's like that.
Curly hair usually, it's drier, so washing your hair every day would like dry and break off.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
that would be a nightmare. Yeah, no, I can't. I
just don't have the energy to do
walking around smelling like oil, fries, and chicken.
That's why I didn't get into food jobs for the longest. I was like, I don't want to smell like food. So I always worked like customer service jobs.
I didn't think, see, that's funny. It wasn't something I thought about until suddenly it was in front of me. Or like at the boba place I worked at before, we did fried tofu. I'd get so pissed. Oh, I know, bitch.
It was so good.
With the house-made sauces too, bro. But no,
Wow.
even though it was bomb, I'd get so pissed when someone wanted it. And it was funny, my coworker, Marlene, shout out to you, she would get, because her hair was so much longer than mine. I mean, obviously you're not wearing it over the fryer, but it's like her hair was really absorbing that shit. And she'd get so pissed because she's like, I literally smell like oil. Yeah. Like her ex would comment on it, I think. She said, like, you could smell it. Gosh. If that's not true, sorry, now it is, Marlene.
But
don't fact check me. Job,
you know what I mean?
I was like, but yeah, that's nasty. Yeah. No can do. And I still am a customer there to the day, and I have a new car, so maybe, hey, if you want a vegan burger recommendation, Impossible Shop, because girl, I thought this place was the best until I tried that place.
Yeah,
so
you're welcome. I put you on.
Yeah, thanks, Carson. But
anyways, that's the episode of us rambling and yapping about work. We hope you guys enjoy. Follow us on all socials at Thought Shit Podcast, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.